Are we rolling? Yes, we are. I'm sorry if you hear like the church noise in the background. I have to have the windows open. But okay. I want to start this video off with a little bit of an introduction of me, myself, and I. Mainly because I think this video could possibly find another audience than what I'm used to. So, starting off, my name is Stina. I'm from Sweden. I live south of Stockholm. And right now, I'm studying to become an art teacher and also a media teacher. So I will be able to teach like TV production, photography, and stuff like that. And that is kind of why I started a shitty vlog channel. And as you may hear, I'm sick. I'm very sick. In fact, the reason I have the windows open is because I have a fever. So this is currently cooling me down a little bit. And the sunglasses are because I have been having a light headache ever since I got sick. So I'm light sensitive. And these are prescription. I'm not trying to be mysterious or anything. But yeah, so I'm gonna make a video now about my thoughts on Pokemon card collecting in 2025. Probably not the first person to do this. On Sunday, while I still wasn't that sick, I filmed a clip of me just sitting down and talking, and I started talking about Pokemon cards and like how I've been collecting them. So below the camera or my phone, I have my computer so that I can watch what I said then and further some points that I made. And yes, I've developed my own way of collecting Pokemon cards this weekend. So I'm kind of tired of... Like, I collect Pokemon cards for the vanity of it. Like, I like cute things. I would also say for the nostalgia, because I'm 24 years old. When growing up, my brother was collecting Pokemon cards. I bought some booster packs. Sometimes I grew up playing Game Boy Advanced Pokemon games. So I've been here, okay? This is my Game Boy. It has Lugia on it and it's glow in the dark. Don't get it twisted. And like all the trainer cards, all the stupid robot Pokemons, like that's not what I'm here for. So that's not what I'm here for. But if you're here for it, go for it. I like screenshotted the visual set list of all the sets you can still like kind of get for a reasonable amount of money in Sweden, and like circled all the ones that I actually want. And just a girl. For example, there's a set called Silver Tempest that is from, I think it's from 2022. And I thought that set would be my thing, but then I went and actually looked at the visual set list and I was like, I don't really like the artwork of a lot. Then I know with that one I can just not buy booster packs and just buy the single ones that I actually like the artwork of. And it also kind of puts the fun back into, just receiving regular cards, because
I've been feeling for a while with how the latest trend on YouTube, which is just like,
We need to get hits. We need to get hits. We need to get cars that are worth a lot of money.
like, sure, I guess, but it kind of, for me, it takes the fun out of it, you know?
Yes, and I say this not because I think it's shameful to make money off of Pokemon cards. Like, people will have the career that they have, but yeah, so why it's uncomfortable for me to have that mindset of we need to make money off of this is because as just a regular person, that will never be attainable for me. Um, obtainable. Obtainable. It will never be available to me. I can say that. Because, you know, I'm a student. I live on student loans. It's not much. I get by okay. Um, but at the end of the day, buying a Pokemon booster is a non necessity, a luxury for me. So when you're constantly with how algorithms and short form media works, when you're constantly thrown back into I need to find this card, it's worth this much money. It's kind of disheartening, you know, because you know that will very seldom happen to you, that you get that, you know, that one card that you want. And you know, I think I bought like 15 packs over a certain amount of time before I ever got like an art rare. That's a lot of money spent on what some a lot of people would consider worthless cards because they're looking at the monetary gain of it. And also, at the end of the day, this is was created as a toy, a card game for children to play. And, you know, I have my own money. I'm not a child, I can decide how I spend. But for a child that is the main audience, probably, of all these channels, they obviously don't have a lot of money. And you know, I've seen how these things work for children because I work in a store that sell Pokemon booster packs. And for them, it's not just a small luxury, it's a big luxury. It's like, Mom, can I please have one booster pack? And I would hate for it to be too disappointing or too disheartening because they can't achieve anything near the success of adult streamers and YouTubers. And I know that's not the same thing at all. And I know there's a lot of YouTubers and streamers who gave away so many cards that they don't need to their audiences, who are, a lot of them are children. And I think that's lovely. But at the end of the day, it becomes a problem because how social media treats this phenomenon is a part of how the machine then will work. And we see that with the scalpers, you know. I think it's the best example of how this negatively affects everyone, especially children. Because those who deal with Pokemon on social media create the hype, scalpers take that hype, they run into stores and get all the Pokemon cards. I even saw a scalper like shove a kid aside to get like 2 armfuls full of I think it was probably, of course, prismatic evolutions. He wanted to get prismatic evolutions, like elite trainer boxes, of course. And that kid that he shoved somehow managed to ninja crawl their way in and get like one. And that's just the difference. For children, this is a once in a few month luxury, and if you have adult money, then you get to make the rules. And that's just, I'm not gonna argue with people making their livelihood, not scalpers, I will argue with them, but I will not argue with people making their livelihood on this. I can understand it. I love it when they're also very charitable. But at the end of the day, I think it a little bit of an unfair playing field will be created. And if it is, like for me, a once in a while luxury, I don't think it's fair to just think about monetary value, because I won't get much back. And I also remember a time when I was actually a child, how it used to be. And I know there's always been people who gain a lot of money from buying and selling Pokemon cards. But I remember when I grew up and I bought a booster pack of Pokemon cards, you would open it and you would look at the cards and you'd be like, oh, this one's cool, this one's cool. There was no thought of there ever being any money gained from this. It was just, I can buy this thing and I can get cool cards. Whereas if I grew up as a child now, the one thing that I would be fed is, especially through the short form content, is this is valuable, this is not. No personal preference, just based on the market. And I find that a bit bleak and not as fun. Yeah, but moving on in this video.
Like you can't be happy about receiving some cards that you just think are pretty, just that they're not rare. And I understand that you want a return on your investment, but honestly, like, don't we know what we sign up to when we buy a booster pack? We know it's mostly gonna be shit when you think about money. So if you then look at the artwork you like and you're like, oh, I vibe with the artwork of this, I want to look for this card, it kind of puts the value in another space.
Yeah, very well put. And for me, it was all about kind of regaining what Pokemon collecting was for me as a child, because that is the capacity at which I can operate.
It puts the value on other sets, because like, yeah, everybody's talking about prismatic evolutions because they have those really pretty evolutions cards that I also want, but they're like $3,000 some of them. And obviously in Sweden you can't even get the booster packs because, you know, it's not the States, it's not a big country. Like, we're not as prioritized with allocation as other countries. So here you can't even get those booster packs at all, almost. Maybe you can get like Japanese ones, but that's it really.
And I would just put in here that, like, it makes me furious when I see that, like, it's not even always scalpers, but just people who have bought up, like, I saw that one person that made like a wall. I don't know if it was prismatic evolution boxes, but like a full-on play castle of elite trainer boxes. And I was just like, damn, leave something for the rest of us. Like, that's generous. Okay.
But yeah, like I understand why everybody wants those booster packs, but then I went and looked at all the artworks from a set like Paradox Rift. That is like the cheapest booster pack you can get in Sweden. It's cheaper than all the rest. And I haven't really seen people open it a lot. And there was some really awesome artworks in there on a lot of the regular cards.
Yeah, and I understand that some sets just don't have cards that are as valuable as the other sets, but then we're once again back at money. And then when you just don't care as much about that, then you find out that, oh, this set like Paradox Rift, that has a lot more value to you, subjective value to you as a person and as a creative mind. And it was eye-opening, definitely.
And if you think about it, it's the same people that make the artwork for the regular cards. It's just with the like artwares, they make it bigger and put a holographic foil on it. I mean, redirect value, okay? And you'll probably be a lot more happier of a Pokemon collector than these people are now, because everybody is just like, I just want to find these valuable cards. I hate skinners. Like, I get it, but there is another way.
Yeah, and I will say this, like, I've seen a lot of Pokemon YouTubers, like, when they actually have to look for regular cards, they, like, sometimes stop and say, oh, I really appreciate the artwork on this one, for regular cards as well. So I can see how some people think like that as well. It's just, you have to remember that money and opulence and luxury valuables, they grab attention. We've seen it again and again and again with different internet trends for different interests. So I would just like to say, don't let your cards just stay in that binder unviewed. Look at them and see what you actually like, even though you know it's not worth much. And remember that, or most people know that you like, this is gambling, and you probably won't get much in return. But if you then look to what you like about different Pokemons and how they're portrayed, it'll make it worth it, I think. And that's how I grew up doing it, and it was a lot more fun than what it is now, having to do this with kind of the echo of disappointment and dollar signs thrown on your screen.
that being said, I want all of those full arts. They're so fab. But I will never get them all, but they're so cute also. um yeah.
Yeah, I want them all. And when I got the Articuno one, I was really happy. It was the one that I really wanted from Journey Together. And then when I just pulled it randomly out of a booster pack I bought in a grocery store, I was so happy that I almost started crying. So I understand. It was just crazy to get the one card that you really wanted. In the end, I can't really tell people what they do with their money, you know. That's not my place. But find your own way that makes it fun for you. It's very important when the market is looking like it's looking right now. Yeah, and I'm gonna sneeze soon, so we end here. Bye.